Dude, I have no cards in hand. I think I'm dead here. I'm so cooked.
Hey everyone, this is Curb, and I bring you another standard match. So today you are going to be able to get to see me being a little bit more competitive because I am going to be on the left playing Lianorn. Lianorn is realistically my deck of choice when it comes to actual competitive events. For those of you who have been following along with my regional updates lately. But of course I am going to be going up against my teammate Joshua, who is on Blandmire. He's expressed like some desire to play this deck for the next BCS that we're going to, but he still has not fully committed to it. Anyways, getting into the match, I do have myself going first, which is, exactly where you want to be playing Lianorn. And of course, especially in this matchup, going first is also important. So you're going to see me unfortunately getting a first damage over trigger there, which is definitely not what I wanted, because I do realistically want one CB going into this turn, because that CB is going to be able to, convert into a draw, so I do kind of want to keep that there. But, we're still going first, we still have the advantage. I decided to go ahead and commit the Legrace from my hand, just to push some more numbers here, as we do swing the 15, and then of course the 20 here, from that token and the Legrace. So already pushing Joshua to 2 there as he rides up into grade 2. Looking to definitely get at least one counterblast here. It is not lost on me that, being at low damage is definitely where you kind of do want to be when you're going up against Blandmire. It makes it the divine skill turn that much less scary, I suppose. But anyways, we do have the new package that Blag is now playing with their new card from set 4. Of course, that being the boost order package. Just gonna be soul blasting one there to go ahead and set it up. Gonna be allowing this grade 2 to become a grade a 15k booster effectively, which is going to make this turn I suppose a little bit more threatening. Honestly, the more thing that I'm worried about is any crits on the Vanguard circle. As you can see me over there flexing my 6 cards in hand with a full board, so things are looking pretty good. We do see the Vadrock coming on down, soul charging an order, which is definitely, not the greatest. We are going to be counterblasting one, calling out the Executioner there. So we've got a okay-ish line here with this first attack being only 10. The Vanguard, of course, being, 18. And then, of course, the last line being 23. I'm be guarding with the Diantha here, just because definitely there is need for recursion, but I really don't need it right now. I've got that full board. But of course, can be swinging at the Vanguard, not seeing anything off the damage check. I do hit a defensive there, but I don't really have another good 5k that I want to throw away, so I'm just gonna be over guarding there. Just keep the cards in hand. Gonna be discarding another card, running into Lianorn, actually energy charging this time because the last time I did discard the Sea Rumble, so kind of just continuing to keep up that train. I'm kind of deciding what I want to do here. I do have the Caliburn, you see me there. I'm debating whether I want to, use it and use it right now and just draw the 2 free cards, or whether I want to keep it, because there is technically the potential that Joshua does damage deny me at 1, which honestly isn't the end of the world. It just kind of keeps me off of Vache for a single turn, but after the draw, I decide, okay, this is actually pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and proc the Lianorn skill, counterblasting one to draw another card, calling out Luster Dragon, and then calling out the Atlantis to the other column, so that basically I completely avoid being damage denied. So just gonna be swinging the Lianorn here, soul blasting the one, discarding a card from my hand, kind of just deciding what I want to get rid of here. Not quite remembering what I do, kind of miss it there, just a little bit off camera. We are going to boost with all 3 of the back row rear guards. Of course, we're going to be taking it because that attack is 41. We'll be drive checking into blank and a heal, which isn't really going to do much, but I'm going to go ahead and give the power to the Rosarian Fairy there. Not that it really matters. Resetting the Luster Dragon, soul blasting the one, getting an extra 5k there, and drawing another card. We do see a defensive on Joshua's side, so this last attack swing for 28 is just going to be blocked by the Twin Cast for an extra 10k, which is very funny. But this other swing is going to be at 35, so that's going to force out a 20k block here if he does want to guard it, or the alternative, just go to 5 or not 5. I believe that is at 4, because I think we're at 3 right now here, if memory serves. But looks like we do have that front trigger, so we're going to go ahead and commit it just to block it there. Going to use the Atlantis there to draw another card and countercharge. So I'm basically completely, fully set for my Vivace turn next turn. I'll be discarding the other copy of the set order, which we did draw into, which is definitely not where you want to be when you're playing the Blandmire. Effectively, you know, those set orders are kind of just garnets. As we check the top 3 here, we get, was that heal, over trigger, and PG. Just gonna be putting in the PG just so we can draw a card. Things are kind of just going really badly here for Joshua. As we're just gonna go ahead and shuffle up that deck. I'm looking pretty good. You know, opponent's at 3. I would prefer Joshua to be at 4 here, because like that means that I kind of auto win going into the Vivace. Well, not auto win, but like, you know, I have a pretty decent shot. Calling a second Vadrock here. Soul charging another crit, which, you know, is definitely good for me. Calling out the Executioner, so I'm not going to be able to intercept with that Legrace, which is kind of unfortunate because, you know, it's a 10k intercept, but at the same time, like, I don't really care that much. Calling out a Zamu, going to be getting all 3 off the top there, putting them all into Soul, shuffling that deck up, going to be allowing us to draw another card. So we've got some pretty scary columns here. Those Vadrocks are going to be swinging and at 20k each, after, of course, we use the Blandmire skill here. Just because, you know, well, I hope I don't have to explain how Vadrock works. I mean, it is technically a newer card, but it just gets like 10k for, you know, 4 bind in the face down in the bind zone. You know, drawing off that Zamu, going to be opting to, we do actually have no CB, because we did use it all on the Zamoog and the Vadrock and the Vadrock from last turn. As we're going to be swinging in here using the 4 binding from the soul in at the Vanguard. I'm going to opt to go ahead and just bind the Legrace. I already have a 15k attacker. I'm going to go ahead and just bind the token because at this moment I'm not really playing any Broccoli's, so I don't really need to worry about keeping around a you know, plant token. So I'm going to go ahead and just take this Vanguard swing. Going to see a Persona Rite and an Alchemist hitting into another defensive for me, making these last 2 attacks super easy to guard here. This first one is just going to be swinging in for 28, and the other one, of course, is just going to be swinging for 35. So I'm looking at my hand. These are both like a 15k guard, and I kind of just have to decide which one of these I want to take. I can either take the 1 crit one and go to 3, which in my mind I'm really thinking is okay because that gives me a little bit of insulation against the divine skill, but in reality, as we're going to see, the correct play is to just go to 4. If I'm planning to kill this turn, which technically speaking I really wouldn't know too much, because like theoretically, like the first Vivace turn is kind of pretty livable, honestly, if you are at 3 damage. So I don't like beat myself up too much about this misplay, but it is definitely a very visible and noticeable one that might just cost me the game. But anyways, I have the perfect board set up here. I've got the second Rosarium. Don't need to call any plant tokens, so I'm just going to be calling out the Atlantis because I just do need something on board. Going to be using skill 2, you know, EV3, call out the, well, not the Atlantis. The Alvina is going to call out the Atlantis as we're going to swing in. Hitting the first damage here is going to be taking it to 33. Unfortunately, is a heal trigger, which is immediately where I realized, oh, fuck, I really should have gone to 4. Because if I had gone to 4, you know, that heal wouldn't have gone off, and we would have had another, you know, a greater chance of actually killing this turn. So we are actually going to be hitting into another front trigger, another front trigger there. If I hit a critical trigger off one of these drive checks, I am going to be able to, you know, actually finish things here. Getting a draw trigger, I'm thinking where I want to put it. Just going to be putting onto Luster Dragon, making everything, you know, just hit big. But unfortunately, you know, that does mean my Vivace is not really going to be hitting, which was the kind of little, you know, thought process here that I made, because like I'm like, do I want my Vivace to be threatening? But this is actually another misplay between both of us. That Vadrock is actually at 20k and Vivace is only at 18, so realistically that shouldn't have actually hit. But We both missed it. It's whatever. It doesn't really impact that much. As we're going to go ahead and swing in for 43 with the extra 10k from the Luster Dragon, sitting now at 30k thanks to its 2 skills, giving, you know, an extra 20k there. And then the extra 5k from the Vivace. Josh is going to be looking at the cards in his hand, realizes that he is actually 5k short, and he is going to be taking that 6 damage, and it is going to be yet another heal. 3 defensives all in a row, 2 of them being heals, has kind of just saved Joshua here. So swinging in the 43 at this Blandmire, being also at 43, is going to mean that, you know, just that intercept of the Zamoog is going to, you know, just be enough to block that attack. And I'm over here looking, I've got a decently sized hand, but unfortunately, like, a lot of it is just 5Ks. I was thinking about keeping the Alentis on board because theoretically I could just bind the Luster and Rosarium, and that does make my Graces an extra 10k, assuming I have any in hand. Not extra 10k, but an extra 5k. So it was just like kind of just like deciding between those two things. It's not really going to end up mattering here. As we see, you know, Blag just going for the Blag plays, calling out the Zamoog, just filtering. Was that 2 cards put into Soul? Deck is honestly getting pretty small there on Joshua's side. Honestly, my only real hope here is kind of just, you know, hope he doesn't get a crit, and hopefully I have enough cards to actually guard the last 2 attacks. Like, if he doesn't get extra triggers, I mean, we're under Persona, right? So these numbers are super scary. I mean, what is that? That's like 25 from the Zamoog with the 30k boost from the Vaidrock. That's 55. If I hit a couple defensives, like, it is like guardable, I suppose. But we are going to be calling a second Zamoog here. Checking the top 3 yet again, getting 2 hits there, putting a critical trigger back into the deck. Like I said, that deck is getting pretty thin, but, you know, I still have a little bit of cope. Like, you know, maybe he doesn't hit that crit, but honestly, what I'm mostly worried about is just, like, that over trigger, because, like, if Blag hits an over trigger on their Divine skill turn, it's kind of just the end of the game, unless you're at 1, but anyways, gonna be putting that deck there, deciding whether we actually do want to bind the Colossus in order to draw another card. Like I said, deck getting pretty thin there, so oh, looks like we are gonna opt to actually just go ahead and draw it there. That's actually looking pretty good for me because we do see a critical trigger being drawn there. Gonna be calling over the Executioner just to get a 13k booster, just to make that extra threatening. Of course, that does kind of limit the power there, because that's a move is 25 plus 13 is going to be making 38, which is, you know, slightly guardable. But I'm still over here looking like, okay, this is kind of just the end of the game. Either Joshua wins it this turn and I completely destroy him on the clapback, or, you know, what's more likely is, you know, death for me. As we do see top 3 being 2 crits and a non-trigger, gonna be putting them just, you know, filtering some more there as we do shuffle up, like, what is that, like 6 cards. We did see 2 crits and over trigger, so we're looking at probably like half of the deck being crits. If we check even one of those, I am just like instantly dead because I don't have a way to guard this Divine skill. My over trigger is out. All I can really bank on is, you know, a couple heals. Maybe I can get lucky and he doesn't hit a crit. So finally gonna get into attacks, swing the Zamoog unboosted. I'm just gonna go ahead and shotgun my PG here. Like, there's no shot that we don't go for Divine skill here, so I'm just gonna PG for a PG, as unfortunately, I don't really have a choice. I have to take this Divine skill here, as we are just going to get the extra 25. This is a 63. There's no way I have a chance of guarding that, as we're going to go ahead and take these last one. First, it's going to be blank, but the second check is going to be that critical trigger, so I'm going to check my first one. It is going to be a draw trigger, giving me a defensive, a critical trigger, which is another defensive, but unfortunately, last check is not going to be the heal that I need. But, you know, that is going to be just the end of the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to do those YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next.
Nah, that was a little bit of my misplay. I probably should have taken just the Zamoog, go to 4 just to heal deny you.